What is Nineveh? Well, Nineveh was the capital city of Assyria, the great empire of wealth and war and principles. And Nineveh represents Christians who want to have every word of the Bible in their mouths. They don't care about the context of the scriptures from Israel or the Israelites or the people of God that happened in context in the Bible. All they want is to gather and collect up and let the figs of even fall into their mouth from the fig tree, which represents every possible scripture you could hold your hands on. We want to get our hands on every scripture and have those words in our mouths. That's what Nineveh is, because it's not Israel. Israel was scriptures in context, God doing things in context in the Bible. But Christians don't want to do things in context. They just want to collect the whole Bible and put it all in their mouth and speak it out and say, it says do this, it says do that, it says live like this, it says do that. We're very religious. We're saying exactly what. We're so enthusiastic for the Bible. We've collected all the figs and they've all fallen into our mouth. And that's not what Israel did with the scriptures, even in the Old Testament, or what Jesus did with the scriptures, even in the New Testament. But that's what Nineveh represents, because it's a collection of wealth and might and power and superiority and having the upper say on everything. And that's what Christians want. They're so zealous and enthusiastic. They just want to put all the words of the Bible into their mouth and speak them out and say, we follow this, we follow that, we follow that, we follow Isaiah, we follow Jeremiah, we follow Ezekiel. And they just want to say all the scriptures, but they don't care about what those scriptures or those prophets were saying in the Bible in the context of why they were saying them, which is what Israel was. They were following the tabernacle whithersoever it should goest. And they didn't try to steady God like Uzzah did, who got struck down for steadying the cart of God, because that's what Christians try to do. They try to have every word, but they don't have the words as they occurred in the context with the Israelites or Israel. That is Nineveh. Nineveh is a collection of enthusiasm, a collection of wealth and might and power and knowledge, but it's out of context. It's like saying we are so religious, we are so righteous that we know every verse of scripture and we can quote it whenever it seems relevant to us. And we live in our 3-bedroom house and just have the pride and luxury of quoting a scripture whenever we feel like it. But that's not what Israel did. Israel had prophets that spoke to them at certain times about certain things for certain reasons in context. And we don't have the right to take the Bible and learn it and put it in our mouth and just use doctrines willy-nilly without them meaning what they actually were supposed to be used for. Because let's say you would tell off your children for doing something wrong. You wouldn't be telling them off because you think telling them off is what you should be doing. You would be doing something relevant to the context. And that is what I'm trying to say. The Bible and Israel was God dealing with people in context. And what Nineveh is trying to collect all the scriptures and zealousy and enthusiasm for scriptures, and just being able to govern them and whisk them around and use them without any proper context or license for doing so.